Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering episode 27 of Digimon Ghost Game, Monsters Beauty Serum. I'm May, and I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi.
And of course, the equally lovely Chloe.
Well, hello there.
So before we get into it, let's do our housekeeping / updates. So first up, we did the Mon Count Challenge, which I was ready for it. I did it on Monday, and then I did not do it since. So I did it very briefly on Monday, which meant I only got a count of 105.
You still, blew me out of the water.
Oh, really? How many did you get?
I had, I think, 61 in the end, and that was way more than I thought that I'd get.
That's not bad, that's not bad.
I
and
got
Quinn?
to 151 and decided to stop where Pokemon should have.
That's fair. That's fair. But originally I was just going through, the rosters of the original virtual pets in my head, but that was really boring. Because
okay.
it was just me remembering which Mon appeared on the first two versions, and I was like, no, that's boring. And then I just went on with any Digimon that popped into my head.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't touch it after Monday, so
Oops.
105, which is, and I was using Google Sheets, so if I tried to type something in that was already there, it would autocomplete. So I was like,
yeah,
so
same.
I had a pretty foolproof duplicate detector, that's the word I was looking for. But most, I wanted to see if I could be could have been really cheeky and say that I have 210, because most of the ones that I have X antibody versions, but that's I feel like that's cheating, because that's just putting X on the end of any Digimon, and
Yeah.
there's a good chance that there's an X antibody version of that Digimon. Same with putting black at the start or black at the end.
Well, see, that's the thing. Yeah, I could have done that, but I choose to only do it on the ones that I knew had a version of that. Because I was like, I could also probably just put down, any given noun mon and have, a 65% chance of a hit.
Yeah, there's skull and metal and a lot of black and shadow as the start of a lot of mon names. So yeah, same with Waru. There's Waru Monzemon and Waru Seedramon. I have Waru Seedramon on mine, and I also counted. Yep.
I was proud of getting Bancho Leomon and Bancho Lilymon on mine.
That Bancho Lilymon is something to be proud of. I got
Leomon.
I got Black Tailmon, and then I also wrote down Black Tailmon Uva, because they're technically different Digimon.
Oh my gosh.
One has a hoodie.
Fair.
But,
I also had a section for ones I can vividly picture but can't for the life of me remember the names of. That might be a
So
fun one. Yeah, I'll hit you with my bad descriptions that I wrote down, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell me this Digimon instantly.
Just read off one, just for fun.
Just one. Okay. The jerk from Appmon with the whole cowboy sharpshooter shtick.
Oh, Scopemon.
I knew
Was
you'd
it
know
Scopemon?
it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
I know it was Cameramon and evolved into Scopemon, but it might have been... I think he then evolved again to... Oh, I don't remember his name.
I think Scopemon is probably the one Chloe's thinking of, though.
Yeah, but
I mean, if he was the jerk who was always, tut-tut-tutting at them.
No, that was Scopemon's evolution. I can't remember his name, though, but I remember it was started as Cameramon, and then it evolved into Scopemon, and then...
Oh, no.
It was... The guy... He had a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was... I'm just gonna check that... Yeah, Scopemon is his pre-evolution, and he evolves into... yes, Saddleamon. Had to Google it, forgot his name too.
There we go.
Gotcha.
Because he's like a satellite, and he has... Yeah, what an extra design. I love him so much. I'm gonna rewatch Atmon. But anyway, so that was a fun little thing that I was far too busy for again this week. I don't know why, but everything's very busy. But I guess, it's fine. The next bit of housekeeping is I just want to mention that there's this really weird glitch on YouTube. I know I've had the comments randomly disabling one for a while, but I have a new one as of last week. So last Sunday, exactly a week ago. I can't save descriptions on any of my YouTube videos, and I've reported it. And I thought that they might be able to help me there. But then I got an email this morning that was like, can you confirm that you're actually unable to save the description? I'm like, wow. That's what I reported. Yep. I wouldn't have reported it if I was able to save the description. Thanks, Ches.
Yeah, Ches was such a creep.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, how old are you? Because maybe your comments are being disabled because you're a minor." And I'm like, "I'm almost 29, but thanks." Like, I guess, but and then I was like, "Okay, that's not too bad." And then Quinn pointed out how creepy it is that the algorithm is able to detect if someone's a minor. I'm not a minor,
allegedly,
by the way, but I guess
that they're making that decision by algorithm.
That's very creepy. And I was like, oh, that seems fine, but I'm just too understanding. But anyway, so if you notice that all these videos on YouTube don't have the link dump linked or anything, they just have the upload defaults of the description, which is like a bunch of like social media links and the Patreon list, and that's about it. That's because I can't actually save any descriptions to any videos at the moment. So as soon as that gets fixed, I will go through and update those descriptions. So that's cool and fun. Hopefully it doesn't take much longer. Don't know why they randomly said, hey, so can you confirm that the description actually doesn't save? And I'm like, I literally sent you a video, a screen capture of this happening on both devices. Please just fix my issue. But anyway, that's the housekeeping updates. Dystopia. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this dystopia anymore because it's annoying me. But anyway, next, let's go to us. Yeah, but anyway, synopsis time. So, Hero researches the urban legends to find out where the next Mon of the Week would be, and finds out about people being called to water. We find out that the culprit is Splashmon, and the group gets targeted, and Battle Gamamon and Tesla Jellymon are turned into water. Rui takes them to the snowfield because Hero suggests it, which I have mixed feelings about, but anyway, we'll get to that.
Yep.
And they end up being able to freeze Splashmon, who Blacktailmon, Uva, and Moosemon take away, and also Hero remembers that his dad exists and gives the Blacktailmon Uva a note to give to the dad, so that's cool. Now that we've discussed the synopsis and I've ranted about YouTube some, we will now discuss the discussions. So what were our highlights this week?
I really liked that we got the story just like off of a creepypasta website. That was really good. I liked that a lot.
and the true crime YouTuber.
Yeah, I wish we did more of that. That was a pretty good... There was so much ambiance. I want to kind of just say the first, 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. I'm still confused as to why Ruri has randomly dropped the blog or mentioning the blog at all, or really, well, except for the Vamdemon episode. But this episode, I felt like, I liked the fact that
Hero
it was
got to make all the decisions
Ruri
for everyone.
exists as a plot device. I don't know what's confusing about that.
Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't her doing the research, because that's her whole thing. She has the blog. She should be doing blog research. I mean, it makes sense that
Women
Hero
straight up
does
exist
some research.
to be victims in this show, and pretty much no other reason.
Very much so in this episode, at least. Like, we took a look at the victims. Battle Gamamon
got captured.
Guess, but
I guess other highlights, I also liked the fact that it jumped straight in. It went to the, hey, we're doing some research on the creepypasta. That was pretty cool. I was a fan of that. And I felt like the pacing of this episode was pretty good. It didn't have the usual... Well, I guess it's not usual anymore because we've mentioned this a few times, but that Ghost Game problem of dashing right to the battle and then we lose... Or we lose. We don't have any more time left. I don't mean we lose. I've completely used the wrong words there.
We, the viewer, lose.
Yeah, we lose any time to actually show a battle because we've spent too much time doing the introduction and fleshing out the world and what the Mon of the Week is and doing the scene setting. We didn't get that because we spent not much time finding the Mon of the Week. The Mon of the Week kind of just was there. And we got to spend the rest of the episode being stalked by the Mon of the Week, which I was actually a big fan of. I felt like it had a unique twist on the Mon of the Week. I also liked that it wasn't so much horror as it was creepy. I wasn't scared, I was creeped out. It was creepy. The whole Splashmon thing, it just, creepy. Didn't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like the creepiness, but I liked it, but I didn't like... I liked that I didn't like it, if that makes sense.
Not really, but okay.
I liked that I was creeped out. I liked that the show made me have feelings.
That's
yeah,
fair.
it was really well done for the first part, which, was kind of a hastily adapted Japanese folktale that I'm sort of familiar with from having watched the original version of Ghost Stories. But, that's fine. I actually kind of dug we got a piece of the monster and stuck it in a bottle and it keeps trying to go back toward the hive mind shtick.
Yeah.
But that ended up being how Splashmon was kind of keeping tabs on the characters. I liked that. It wasn't just, oh, look at this plot convenient thing. Like, oh, it was actually on purpose.
Yeah, it worked in both directions, honestly. It was just a nice little nod. Yeah. It was quite good bit of writing. Anyway.
Yeah. The moment when Jellymon was ordering food for herself and Kiyoshiro while he was too busy cowering under the blankets I
love that.
It was extremely pure, and I loved it so much.
Yeah, I love the relationships between the humans and the Digimon partners in this series, and this episode was also kind of nice. We had Gamamon, chewing the ice and then wanting something that was equally crunchy, so he started chewing on the vacuum cleaner. That was kind of cute. I liked that. And I like that scene... Or maybe I like and I don't like that the scene only exists so Hiro can remember that ice exists later on in the episode. He's like, oh,
I sure have seen this episode of Cardcaptor Sakura.
Well, and see, it's important that Hiro had those things that happened earlier in the day. Otherwise, he might have forgotten how ice works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like how he just had to remember how ice worked and the fact that it was frozen water.
Yep.
And that Splashmon was water.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It seems like such a...
Yep.
It's such a leap, and it worked. I'm glad it worked out for him, but it's such a almost hilarious leap. Come on, Hiro. And I like the fact that, I know it was completely, not in this context, but Splashmon just looks at Hiro and he's like, you're the only low-quality one.
Mm-hmm.
I know he meant that he's fearless, and he only thinks that the fear correlates to the quality. But oh my gosh.
It was also hilarious.
You are the low quality one. I'm gonna start just using that as a burn. You are low quality, you are high quality. And also, I know that I mention this far too often whenever there's a humanoid, masculine looking Digimon, but why does Splashmon have a booty dough?
Splashmon, I was gonna mention this in my miscellaneous thoughts, he has more than just a booty.
He's got a booty with 3 T's.
They also just gave him a bulge. It was just a thing that happened.
That too.
Yeah.
That too. I didn't expect to see Digimon bulge today, but I guess I did.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, we probably should, with just the number of metal cod pieces.
Yeah. I'm also surprised he never took on the furry form that he has.
Oh god, well, I'm very glad he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that form also was in Adventure Colon, so it's kind of funny that we have a Splashmon in Adventure Colon who is in the tiger form, and then we have the Splashmon in the humanoid form and in Ghost Game, and they're the same Digimon. Unless I'm completely misremembering and I'm having a false memory, but I'm 90% sure. Now I'm doubting because I can only think of 105 Digimon, but I'm fairly certain that they're the same Digimon. They're both called Splashmon, unless I'm just wrong. That is possible. But he was in Cross Wars. He is the JoJo character, and I've never seen JoJo, but I feel like I know all about JoJo because of the internet.
Eric, can I convince you to take a breath?
Yeah, I've never taken a breath in my entire life. I'm pretty sure I swallowed a thesaurus as a child. But,
the last thing that I really liked about this episode, and it is me being a caricature of myself, but the water droplet bits were pretty Ava.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep. It was, though.
Especially when combined with the screams.
It's say the line, Chloe. Say the line.
Hey, look. I know what I like,
Ava. Right? Yeah. Look, I mean, it's always Ava.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of media, especially anime, is going to be Ava at some point. Sometimes it's on purpose, sometimes it's not, but it'll always be Ava.
Yeah, steal from the best,
It's less Ava than it has been, though.
Yeah, there's certainly been more Ava bits, but this might have been the most Ava we've had in Ghost Game so far.
No, we shot out the angel in the sky.
We did do a pretty specific episode of Ava.
Yeah, okay.
That was just too Ava. It was just okay, we've got to fire into the sky to hit something. That was probably the most Ava we've been.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's pretty Ava.
I feel like we also did Ava another time in this season, but I can't remember.
The only other time I really remember is when we go extremely Ava at the end of Appmon.
Yeah, and then there was Adventure Colon, which was just, it wasn't so much Ava as it was just, like, doing scenes from Ava out of context.
Yep.
Which, it's like, at some points I just thought that it was absolutely on purpose because it was, like, frame by frame the same pose as characters and Ava. But anyway, this is not the
I still adore the
sound
time
only
they just
podcast.
made an episode out of a cake song, but again, we can
That
move
was
on.
good. That was such a good episode. I think that's the most memorable episode of all of Colon for me.
Yep.
But anyway, so do we have any other highlights? I feel like I just like Splashmon.
Splashmon
I got all mine out.
Was, at least initially for me, pretty great.
Yeah.
But I do have my rant coming in the lowlights section, but I'll give y'all a minute.
Let's hear it.
No.
Low light time.
Okay.
Take it away,
so
Quinn.
Okay. So, for all that Splashmon is an effective villain, I am really uncomfortable with the fact that we have a relatively effeminate but male-coded villain who seems to attack pretty much exclusively women, and then, is making a beauty serum out of their fear, and it just leaves me feeling kind of about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's valid.
Oh, side note, and yeah, very valid, but I just remembered one of my lowlights is the fact that at the end of the episode, when we see the sled show up, I thought it was going to be Captain Hookmon and Petermon.
Oh my god, that would have been
If
better.
only.
And I thought they were just like, no, we are taking him. To just build a daddy squad. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
no.
why I expected, because I saw the wood of the sled and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the boat. And I was really disappointed to see Moosemon, which is unusual because Moosemon is Hawkmon Digi-Armored energized with the Digimental of Hope, I think. Though I was actually surprised, Quinn, that your main lowlight that you were going to rant about wasn't the same as the one that I thought it was, because it was definitely my main lowlight, and that's the fact that I'm not sure why this episode had Hero doing all the research of the Mon of the Weeks. And
I already did give that rant, but after you lost internet. But yes, I have multiple rants to give this week, if I'm being honest.
That is fair, but that's the main one that I really didn't like. It felt kind of weird that Hero was yelling out like, "Oh, Ruri, go to the snowfield."
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was
And
a
also,
really
Ruri, do
not
your
fun part.
attack.
Yeah, like why does she have to be
Yeah.
reminded that that's her attack?
Yep.
It just feels kind of weird
It was
that
kind
is
of
happening.
demeaning, especially since all the
Yeah.
victims were women and got to have zero agency, and
Mm-hmm.
Tesla
and
Jellymon got iced for no reason.
And
Got
it was
to
kind
look
of weird
into the
that
camera and go,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, like, I mostly enjoyed this episode until, like, we had the fight, and I was like, okay, cool, the only Digimon left is Simbara and Goromon. We're going to have Ruri do something, I guess, but I didn't expect her to get an evolution to perfect, because it's not really a character growth episode at all. I expect those to happen more in character growth episodes, except for, I guess, the Canon Weissmon one, never mind. But
and that's the thing,
I
this
wish
could have
that-
been.
Yeah, I wish that they just let her do more in this episode. It felt... I mean, it still leagues better than a lot of Colin, but I felt like it was almost Colin feeling... And, that's bad phrasing. But, it just felt just a little bit like Adventure Colin.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that we have the main character tell everyone else what to do, and we don't really have the other characters be characters.
We straight up can't allow someone to go to the bathroom without inviting Hero along?
Oh, that was interesting. I think we don't often see Digimon pee. They're always pooping, but we had a Digimon pee, and we had, for some reason, sound effects to it. I can't think of any other Digimon peeing other than Tortamon in episode...
I was going to say Tortamon,
season
but,
2. Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise,
But then
not much. But that sure is a
Lots
thing
of
that
poo.
happened. Also very true.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess it was trying to bring it home like Liquid and Pigs and summoning Splashmon.
Yep.
But now I really wanted to have Splashmon come out of Gamon's wing.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no.
Because
no.
Hero was here, but that Hero was scared hearing the water sound because it was Gammon peeing. But I just
No.
it just gets worse the more you think about it, really, eh?
Yeah,
like,
it really does.
Yes.
Oh no,
Yes,
Very
it
much
does.
so.
no. That's,
Anyway.
that's a little bit how you going. Like I don't like that at all. It's just No. So so that's not really a low light, just a miscellaneous thought of, like, we don't often have Digimon peeing.
Yep.
It's always poo, but I guess we pee this time, so that's fine. Any other lowlights? My main one was just Ruri not existing. Yep, go off, I guess.
It sure was convenient that there was just a ship with the entrance just all open and unguarded like that. Feel like that would... And I'm just being a curmudgeon, I know, but it was just like, oh, well, that's super convenient that they can just walk onto this ship, huh? Also, I just kind of felt like cheated by the episode's ending. Like, it just could have been so much better if we just kept on picking off people until it was just Ruri and Angoramon. But instead, Hiro had to remember that water freezes and saves the day from that. Yeah, it was just...
Yeah, that was weird.
It's just a huge letdown. I felt like I could have been so much better. So those are really my two lowlights.
Quick aside, I'm unclear why Hiro couldn't push the button his own damn self. Do we have
I think
one?
each of them have a different... Yeah, I think each of them have a different field that they bring out. They're not all the same.
Fair enough.
So that's why it's not Heroes. It's Ruli has the snow field, and Hiro was remembering that ice existed.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we'd actually established that rule or if I was just sort of inferring that it must exist.
I think it was implied, but it does just make it all the more annoying that, Ruli didn't remember her own environment. Hiro had to remember it for her.
Because he remembered ice existed.
Because he remembered that ice existed because he saw Gamamon munch on a Roomba earlier.
And he remembered that when he munched on the Roomba and he ate ice, and that was
and then
also
we remembered the time that
Roomba.
Yukito bought us a snow cone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always Cardcaptor Sakura or Evangelion here.
Yep.
Any other lowlights?
Nope.
The overall
really
feeling of
wish
disappointment
that
in this
any
episode.
of the victims had been men. Just...
Yeah, I don't really get why it had to be women.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's all I'm saying. Like, but, I mean, you don't have to...
It didn't have to. They chose to.
He did target Hiro and Kiyoshiro later on, but that means that it is possible for him to target men, so why isn't he? Why isn't he targeting men?
Well, I mean, if he's going for beauty, Yeah.
But men can be beautiful. Splashmon is a Bishonen, I think.
You're correct.
Anyway.
Or
But,
Silence of the Lambs character, but...
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'm surprised they in the dub. I could just imagine them putting in that line
about
the lotion on the skin.
Yeah.
But I don't. I mean, they would maybe 20 years ago because people would get the reference. I don't know if it could be in a dub now because I don't know if anyone watching would get the reference.
None of the kids certainly, and
I don't know about that.
If you're gonna go
the kids might not...
you could go a little more obscure with it and have them just say anything about fava beans.
Oh yeah, because that'll make them more likely to get the joke.
No, it's so that the few people who do get it, and everybody else has to Google it if they want to.
Yeah.
Nah, just let everyone get the joke. It'll be a lot more clear if it's the lotion on the skin.
Fair.
I feel like that one is mentioned more than the Fiver Beans one.
Exactly.
Fair.
It's pretty close, but still, I think the
anyway,
lotion
that
on the
movie
skin
is
gets
bad and
referenced
should feel bad.
Yeah, it's a product
Pretty
of its
terrible.
time. Yeah. Anyway, so favorite character, mine was Splashmon because he had a booty and he had a bulge, and I know I go awooga at Digimon far too much, but awooga, why did they sculpt the bum? And then he turned around why did they sculpt everything?
Yep.
I mean it makes sense if you're going to sculpt a feminine Digimon's breasts and bum, it makes sense that you should definitely just sculpt everything. Just sculpt.
Yeah, if you're going to be horny, be equal opportunity horny.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Just if you want to objectify, just may as well just go all in and objectify the men too.
Yeah.
What about men? Just Splashmon, definitely. But anyway, so big fan of that. So Splashmon was my favorite character. Also because none of the characters had much of characters this time, so Splashmon. So, Quinn, who was your character?
Jellymon, for being the only femme-coded character who got to express any dissatisfaction with this.
Yeah. I'm surprised that she didn't mention the fact that she was water, because she did in the Zasomon episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, they could have just had Splashmon just emerge from Jellymon. Oh, that would have been so good.
That would have been so good, horrifying.
Just a little
and
alien
Kiyoshiro
moment,
would have passed out. That's horrifying.
down,
With good reason.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I mean, and now I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that, because that feels like the level of body horror that
you have to feel like
we
that was
know and love
on
from
the
Ghost Game.
table at one point, and somebody said, "Nah, we can't."
Yeah, they probably decided that was too much.
I mean, I think that the Ajataramon, like, removing her organs, saying that humans don't have these, I still think that was a lot. I think that Splashmon emerging from Jellymon.
You're fair. I would not have expected them to do that, and they sure did, so...
Yeah.
Maybe it is on the table.
Yeah, I don't think anything's off the table in this show compared to other seasons of Digimon. They're very much wanting to go with the body horror, and
I was shocked when we just had everybody go, "Oh, all better."
Yeah, that seemed a little convenient that everyone at the end of the episode was just like,
they should
we're fine now.
Be drowned as hell.
Yeah, like, I was surprised that we had people come back to life in this one. Like, I thought that they at least suffocated, and the intro part kind of gave me that impression. Like, it looked like she went limp.
Like, the only reason they didn't commit to murder was so that they could pop Jellymon.
I don't know.
Which they could have committed to murder if they'd let Jellymon, be the winners.
Yeah, that is true. That'd been horrifying. Anyway, Chloe, who is your favorite character?
The soul of Yui Ikari, acting as the driving factor of the plot with the water droplets.
It's always Evangelion, isn't it?
It's always Eva.
Alright, so rating time. I think I gave this episode higher than it deserves, but that's purely because of the level of creepy it gave at the start of the episode. So I gave it a 3.5. I enjoyed the creepy atmosphere, and I feel like that I was very much in the episode in the first 10-15 minutes. So I still liked it, but there are a lot of issues with this episode. Quinn, what was your rating?
So I went back and forth, and I think I am also going to give a 3.5 and feel weird about it. Because I thought I was going to give this a 5 for a lot of the episode, and structurally it's a lot stronger than most of the episodes we've seen lately.
Yeah.
So, I'll give it that it was at least structured well, but wow, please let women do some of the writing.
Yeah, I also feel weird about my 3.5 because it's just, it had me for so long, and then it was just like, oh, no, Hero can be the character, which is, I mean, it's fine, I do like Hero, it's not as much of the Taichi problem as we had in Adventure Colon, where it was every episode. It just felt kind of weird that it was this one. Same with the Vamdemon episode.
If nothing
Chloe,
else, could we maybe have had Gammamon remember that ice freezes and shout to Ruri? It would have been something a little different.
I don't think that... I don't think I'd like that because it's not very in character for Gammon to do something smart.
Yeah.
I guess.
It would feel like it would...
It would have felt
like
a
weird
little bit
all of a sudden.
Anyway.
Also, I didn't mind the fact that he became water. I'm glad that they took him because it means that we don't just have to find a reason why he can't evolve to perfect. That way worked for me.
That's fair.
So, Chloe, what's your rating out of 5?
I mean, I'm unfortunately just kind of going to end up echoing both of you. A 3.5 for basically the exact same reasons. I was, if it had kept on track of the first 2/3 of it, it could have been a full-on 5 and perhaps my favorite episode so far, but it really just kind of fell on its face in the end. It was a shame.
I mean, I'm glad that we all gave a 3.5 because I was like, oh, I'm going to give this episode too high again and everyone else is going to give it a 1. But no, I feel very validated.
It wasn't that bad.
With my decision there. Yeah, it wasn't bad. It just had bad choices. So it means that with our 3.5s, that gives the episode a 10.5 overall out of a possible 15 points. So that means that it's only tied with one other episode, and that was episode 8, which was Nightly Procession of Monsters. And I liked the Nightly Procession one, which was the go-kart with Systemon episode more. Yeah. What do y'all think?
I think I liked this episode more, but it's tough.
I'm fine with that, but yeah, I could go either way as well.
Okay, we need to come up with, but I liked, no, you're right, it is a really hard one. It is basically, but both of them have good qualities, and both of them have bad qualities.
I feel like I liked the potential of this one more, so I'm gonna give this one favor over Nightly Procession of Monsters personally.
Okay, and Quinn, what do you?
I'll say the same.
Okay, then I also agree with that. So because it is a very hard one to place because it did so well, and Nightly Procession of Monsters was kind of the same quality all the way through, if that makes sense. But in any case, so that means that putting it above episode 8 means that it ranks 17th in our overall ranking, in my own personal ranking. However, it ranks 19th, so kind of ish near the bottom, not too far away from our 17th in our overall place. Quinn, where are we putting it in your ranking?
I think I am putting it between 3 and 12, right at the top of my 3.5s.
Okie dokie, so between 3 and 12. So that is in 15th place?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One of these days, Quinn's going to remember that there's a column on the right that has the position, the rank number in it.
Yeah.
Perhaps eventually, but,
Perhaps.
Until that day.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I do the calc in my head, or rather, I'm looking at the sheet. And Chloe, where are we putting the episode for you?
I'm actually putting it in exactly the same place, 15th place, in between episodes 9 and 22 for me.
Okie dokie, so
Top of my 3.5s.
I'm glad that we all agree on this episode. Went in like, and the whole time of y'all talking, I was like, oh no, that they're gonna give it like a 1 and a 2, and I'm gonna be like, it's a 3.5. So
it has really high highs and some really, really just bad lows.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame because it could have been so much better. But at least it wasn't terrible. Like, at least it had some qualities, and it at least felt unique. We went in a unique perspective of having the character kind of be turned to ice and not killed and not, like, befriended and not running off either. It was kind of like we're just going to have Blacktailmon Uva take him back to the digital world, I guess.
Back to Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that we're just reading creepypastas to do research on urban legends to see which one could be a Digimon Mon of the Week kind of thing. I do like that. It makes more sense than just, hey, these kids stumble upon the Mon of the Week pretty quickly. But anyway, do we have any miscellaneous thoughts other than Splashmon?
Yes, I had several. So when we had the second splash and everyone was getting super paranoid about water noises, I really loved the guy with the world's loudest plastic water bottle, because that was just, like, really heard that from, like, 50 feet away, like, just super loud, and so I'm impressed.
And still, it's better than piss!
Yes.
Like,
Quote from Air 2022.
Yep.
Loud water bottle, better than piss. You
Exactly.
can have that on my tombstone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we can make merch with that on it. I also liked that this was the episode where Naruto and the crew fought Zabuza on the bridge with the mist and stuff.
Super was, yeah.
Yep.
I've not seen Naruto.
Okay,
That's
fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not missing out on a whole lot. There's some parts that are good, but by and large, it's Anyway, and I guess this one we've already covered because it's not that they can just choose their environments now or something. It's just that they have to remember which one they have. The end credits girl who's given the cold shoulder to
Dijima.
Yeah, she was in this episode, which I noticed, which was cool.
Yeah. She was also in the first episode as well, and Hero's friend was like hitting on her. She like was Hero was checking out for the night. Or might have been the second episode.
Something like
he had
that,
to like
yeah.
get a pass to leave.
That's
or
fair.
Something.
We talked about Splashmon's bulge. I couldn't decide if that was a highlight or a low light, so I just kind of ended up leaving it as a miscellaneous thought. And then my last
A light.
My last one is that although we did kind of disappointingly, everyone was fine at the end. Are all of those fish still just dead then?
That is a good point. I was very concerned about that.
Fish.
Yeah, so there is a body count this episode, just not really in the usual sense.
And a body count I honestly care way more about than if the humans had died.
Yeah, a little bit.
If we're being real about things.
It's just a shame for it to happen in a zoo,
true.
you know?
It's an aquarium, isn't it? Was it as...
well,
an aquarium.
Yeah, the water zoo, you know.
601.
Water zoo. The water zoo.
Yeah, yep. That place where you go, the water zoo.
The water zoo, the water zoo. I love going to the water zoo.
Yeah. But anyway, that was the last of my
That'd be the
miscellaneous
episode
thoughts.
title.
Water zoo.
It doesn't have to be.
I'm dying. Anyway, so I don't really have any miscellaneous thoughts other than just water zoo. I'm just going to call aquariums water zoo now, so thanks for that.
You're welcome.
So I've sort of rung this bell before, but we're supposed to believe that, like, several dozen women were abducted over the course of, I think, a couple of weeks all across Tokyo, and this isn't an international news story? And they all just woke up and were fine?
That kind of does happen in Ghost Game a lot, where they're just like, oh, okay,
yeah.
Right.
The Illuminati keeps things quiet.
We super need Hypnos around making this happen, so that it's
Sayle's pulling the strings.
Deeply implausible.
I'm honestly really hoping that there is some sort of government committee or government department that is cleaning up after these messes. Like, remember Zassamon? We all thought, hey, that's something that we all saw, and everyone's talking about it. Surely we will go somewhere with that.
Yeah.
And then they
you have to fight Paimon, or else Rei will have to do it again.
No.
So, also remember how in the Ayatarmon episode, we had another person learn, like, definitively about the existence of Digimon, and how nothing has happened with that yet?
Yeah, I don't think there will be.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem... I mean, I know it's episodic, but it doesn't seem that there's a whole lot of, collateral damage that actually lasts, or is important. Like, people have died.
Yeah. I guess this is a little bit more of a lowlight than a miscellaneous thought, but I am disappointed that we, again, just kind of had a character show up to remind us that there is a larger plot, but literally nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Delivering a letter, though, that we don't know the contents of and will probably be forgotten about.
How long has he been carrying that around, do you think?
Yeah, I fully believe that it's been around since, like, the last... Like, he probably wrote it last time he saw Blacktail Maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's just like, oh, I'm going to give this letter. And he just had it in his pocket for months.
I'm guessing it's been in his pocket since the time that those two Digimon came being like, hey, where's Blacktailmon?
Yeah, maybe.
And he was like, crap, I don't know, but that's a good question. I'm going to have something ready for the next time I come across Blacktailmon Uva.
Yeah, It would make sense. I just, God, imagine the amount of time he's been carrying that around, sort of hoping to get accosted by a Digimon so that Blacktailmon can show up.
It's got to be stuff like...
say nothing about his father.
That note would have to be, like, so tattered by now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Or does he rewrite it every couple of days?
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I want to believe he left it in the washing, like, at least once.
Yeah. I mean, life happens.
Yeah, things do be like that. Water zoo. Now it's time for Postmon Pat Pondering and Predictions. First up, we have Narumi on the comments for YouTube, saying that they like this episode a lot because of the dark themes and tragic ending. It's nice seeing Angoramon hanging around with his old friend and exploring together in the digital world. They're waiting for an episode where the protagonist tries to reason with the Mon of the Week, but the talking doesn't work, and they just wasn't expecting it to happen to Angoramon's friend, but that made the ending more tragic, so it's their second favourite episode. And yeah, we went together for the last recording, but I gave last week's a 5, because it started its life as like a 3.5, and the more I talked about it, and the more like I listened to y'all's comments on it, and I was just like, it finished its life in the last episode as a 5, because I just really liked it. I was a big fan of it.
Remind me what last episode was? Was that...
it was the Digitamamon episode.
Oh, we didn't do that together? Okay.
Yeah, I was at the RSPCA thing that day.
Time is wild.
Time is wild. I also was like, hey, that's right, we didn't do it together.
I could have sworn that was 2 weeks ago.
Nope, just 1 week.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Anyway, so next we have Andrew, who says the ep didn't sugarcoat what happened. It was horror to the max. I feel sorry for Angoramon to have to kill his old friend, though. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's also, yeah, I'm super sad about it. And they also thought that they'd be doing a twin reveal because of the fact that maybe Digitamon was actually good and we were meant to suspect him, but then there was going to be a second Digitamon that actually was the Mon of the Week, which is what I expected the whole time. I was like, okay, and now they're going to pull the fact that there's another one. Nope, it's actually just him. The show's not lying at all. It's just, he is the big bad of the episode.
He's just evil. Like, pretty much every time.
Yeah. But for some reason I found this insane Digimon to be a lot more compelling. Digitamamon was a lot more, like, compelling as a crazy Digimon than, why am I blanking on this week's Digimon? Splashmon, yeah.
Splashmon.
Like, the whole, they're delicious and I want to eat them, that's a way better villain than I want to make them into beauty serum.
I was at least waiting for them to reveal that, by beauty serum he meant he was trying to fully realize or whatever. But
He was definitely realizing, though. Because he was being
but
seen.
that was definitely not the case.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, he was just super vain.
He's just awful. Which, I guess that's fine, but last week worked a lot better for me, because it was a lot more equal opportunity, When she just wanted to eat some souls or whatever, and not get creepy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just vomit up sand.
He wanted to eat all of them, not just Ruli.
Exactly.
Yeah. He wanted to start with Ruli, though.
Just from convenience, though. She was the first one there.
Yep. Next, we have Danny, who says they loved your commentary about the Gammon learning the difference between the left and the right in the backpack. And yeah, I didn't notice that when I watched the episode, but when y'all talked about it, I was like, oh, my gosh, that's adorable. Next, we have Eduardo, who says that, asks us rather, if we forgot about the brain-eating Spider-Woman, blood-drinking Mightismon, Cherrymon eating all the campers, all of them attack side characters and the main cast directly. Digitalmon is just the latest so far. And yeah, I know that we kind of mentioned how...
It definitely doesn't never happen, but it's certainly been cranked up.
It's happening more in Ghost Game than it's ever happened in all of Digimon, and I'm very much a big fan of it, and you could say that I'm here for it, because I am. I'm very much here for it.
Well, sorry, I missed the it that we're here for. What are we here for with this? What?
Civilian deaths?
Yeah, we're actually attacking people.
Yeah. I'm a fan that we're doing that more often, and not just having it be like a... And then everything was immediate. Like, we've also been doing a bunch of they're attacking people, but then they magically get okayed again at the end. But there certainly have been a lot that haven't either, and I've really appreciated those episodes.
Yeah. They then continue to say that Angoramon needed the backstory and character development. It says a lot that Ruli is willing to meet another friend's old best friend so readily, even inviting Hiro and Kiyoshiro, which is a big improvement compared to before, where she was not willing to trust as much before meeting Hiro and the crew besides her core friends.
That's fair.
And next we actually do have two people who did the Digimon count. We have Jamie, who was able to recall 725 Digimon off the top of their head, which is... That's most of them, I think. I think there's only 1,000 and something, maybe more. That's a lot. Well done.
That's kind of what I was expecting you to get, Air. Yeah. And I bet if you had your, document with you all week and had been plugging away at it, you would have gotten that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I probably would have gotten pretty close. But yeah,
I think if I really plugged away at it, I might have gotten to 300.
Yeah, probably. You've been around a long time, Quinn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mostly I was just, think about any random episode of Digimon. What was in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been around the Digiblock a time or two?
The Digiblock.
I could not remember what Impmon evolves into. The whole list.
Wizamon or Beelzemon. And Balmon.
Beelzemon, that's what I was thinking of.
Yep. And also Beelzemon Blast Mode. And also Beelzemon 2010 version. You can really go far with the different iterations and different, variants of Digimon. But anyway, Frozen Studios was able to name 26, which is still pretty cool. Every attempt is good. And also, neither of them said how long they spent naming the Digimon.
It makes a significant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I spent, maybe 10 minutes doing mine.
I spent probably 2 to 3 hours over the span of about a week, because I did about an hour today, and then I did about an hour last week when we did it separately.
Now I feel bad. I gave y'all homework. I'm sorry.
No, it was kind of fun. We sat around.
It was fun.
We vaguely described Digimon to each other without trying to actually spoil names. Mm-hmm. It was rather fun.
Yeah. And also sometimes Digimon have really there is a Digimon called Monitormon. It is a TV monitor.
I did forget to include that one. I was a big fan Digimon. Of Gundramon, which I needed to show Chloe.
Yeah, Gundramon's good.
I didn't write down Gundramon. My favorite on
also a Kenandramon for just, the synonym mon.
Because of course, yeah. We should post our lists somewhere or something.
Oh, yeah.
If
you put it in Sheets, you could just share the link, and once I'm able to edit descriptions again, I will put it in the YouTube video comment description, but I guess I can put in the comments from now. But anyway, so next we have Gorot Chuvier, who says that this would be a perfect day for Jekyll and Goramon, aka Lamortmon, but we just had Canon Weissmon, so they understand that we're not just going to jump around with evolutions. Which, Digimon's done that before, so it wouldn't be the weirdest thing for Digimon to do another evolution after another evolution kind of deal. And then lastly, we have Lazy Croconaw, who says they find it hilarious that as the only partner Digimon without a body count, or on screen at least, is Jellymon. And I'm like, Jellymon's definitely taken a life.
Oh yeah, she enjoys murder. She is a chaos demon.
Yeah, she is. She wakes up every morning and chooses chaos just for fun.
It just
That's why
hasn't been on screen
Kiyoshiro's
yet.
so traumatized.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, she actually wanted to summon Splashmon. She was like, let's turn on the water. Like, I love that so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do we have any thoughts about the series so far?
I wish it would start.
I don't mind it. I don't mind the episodic nature. I'm still enjoying it, at least. It would be nice to have some plot, but I'm not racing to see some plot, if that makes sense.
I wish they would stop giving me, Fresca-esque hint of plot.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. I'm also just easily, like, impressed by things. I'm like, yeah, I like it. It's Digimon. It's pretty good.
Yep, we know. We know, buddy.
I know. Okay. So the next episode is called Face Taker. Do we have any predictions? Because I predict horror.
I predict faces will be taken, but not names, just faces.
Don't you mess around.
Just faces.
I'm here to kick faces and take names.
And I'm all out of
I'm
face.
all out of kicking.
I'm all out of kicking, just faces. Just gonna
Just
take
just
those
taking
faces.
them all now.
It seems very scary by the next time on, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That would be good, but we've been misled before.
Yeah.
And I bet everyone will be okay, because we are definitely not leaving just a bunch of people permanently disfigured.
Oh yeah, this will be definitely
Although-
like a...
Well, so if there was going to be one where they would do that, I feel like it would be this one, because this would leave a really convenient excuse for nobody to ever wonder what's going on if they, literally can't see, hear, or communicate anything about it,
Or, alternatively, you don't have to animate the faces of people.
Also that's just a wins all around.
Yeah, everyone wins.
I wonder what direction they'll go in to make the next episode extremely Eva.
Well, Evangelion, there was a good chunk of it where people just didn't have faces.
That's fair.
Because they just
this would
because
be
they had a lot of
good
hands
time
covering.
for Hiro to ask if it's okay for him to be here, because the answer is no.
Yep. It's
Well-
never no. Oh, come on. I mean, Hero's... I still like Hero. I still like him.
He's fine. I'm just grumbling.
I was mostly thinking that the lack of faces, if they all look similar, would be kind of like a Ray situation.
Oh, horrifying.
That's mildly Eva about it. Yeah.
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 I was thinking
that's
maybe
pretty
a little
Eva.
bit Asuka's mental breakdown, but
That'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
a bit
few
much if
different
we go
directions.
that far.
Yeah, probably not.
Alright, everyone, so thanks for joining us for this week. You can join us next time for episode 28, Face Taker. But for now, the link dumps is linked in the description, except if you're watching this on YouTube and YouTube hasn't just fixed it. So, sorry about that, but it's definitely linked in the description on the podcast. So, yay, just not maybe in the YouTube video version, but I'll fix it as soon as I can. Thanks, YouTube. The Redbubble's also in the description, and I'm pretty sure even in the YouTube description, so that's exciting. And so are our ways to contact us, such as sending us spam to LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com, or commenting on this episode on YouTube, unless YouTube glitches and disables the comments. You can follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm at Digimon_Hero on TikTok. I stream on twitch.tv/translationmon, and you can chat with us on the Lost in Translation Discord server. You can also leave us a review on any podcast catcher that you use, and that may help people find about the podcast, and I'll read it out on the show if I see it. If not, give me a heads up so I can find it. You can also donate to me on Patreon, and that's linked in the description from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to the Patreon-only areas of our Discord server, but there are high-level rewards such as unedited and early episodes and more. And of course, thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Stephen Reeves, who is Wild4 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Neoboo, who says you should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236, Lizmet, who is Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Sam, Emery from Gone While Hunting a Hunter Hunter Rewatch podcast, Magnus, Lucas, Jason105, Patrick, Jason, Grey Tanuki, Shelby, Digital Hazard, who is on Twitch at The Digital Hazard, Dedicated Gazi, Alemus, Michael, and Teropiamon. You can also make a one donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, ko-fi.com/airdra. And that wraps it up, and I really hope that YouTube fixes itself soon. That'll be cool and fun. So Quinn and Chloe, thanks so much for joining me this week.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Always happy to.
And hopefully the podcast isn't too terrible because of my internet deciding it just didn't want to do the internet thing anymore. So I'm crossing my fingers about that. But in any case, I will see you on the next one. Bye!
Bye!
Bye!